The Apothecary Diaries is one of those anime that's just talked about a lot, but it's not typically what you'd expect from an anime. The story follows Maomao's journey, but she's not your typical protagonist. She's weird, scrappy, and far from what you'd call glamorous. If you saw her on the street, you might think, that's a quirky one. I mean, there's really nothing special about her. So why is it loved so much, and what makes the story work so well? Well, today we're going to explore that together, shall we? First, let's talk about Maomao. Maomao's life takes a nosedive when she's kidnapped and thrown into servitude at a royal court. But Maomao doesn't just survive, she thrives in her own scrappy way. She's stuck at the very bottom of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This pyramid is the one where the bottom level is all about food and safety, and the top is about fulfilling your potential. Well, Maomao finds herself stuck at the very bottom of the pyramid. Forget self-esteem or belonging, she's just trying not to get stepped on by someone in fancier shoes. This struggle is why we can't help but root for her. Who hasn't felt like the world is out to get them? Whether it's a bad boss, a rough day at school, or being stuck behind someone buying 50 lottery tickets, we've all had moments where life felt unfair. Maomao's challenges feels like our own, just with more royal drama and a fewer snack breaks. But Maomao doesn't let her tough situation crush her spirit. She's the kind of person who sees a problem and just has to fix it, even if it puts her in danger. She's determined to keep her head down and stay invisible, but then she notices someone needs help. Common sense would tell you to ignore and just walk past, but not Maomao. She jumps in headfirst despite wanting to keep a low profile, and she starts by revealing her ability to read, which is a risky move in her position.
そうか。この中で文字を読める下女は私だけ。それをあぶり出すためにあの書き物を。やばい、早く逃げよう。
ダメじゃないか。
And then treating someone who's sick, she can't help but do the right thing. Then there's Jinshi, her unexpected partner in crime solving and awkward conversations.
手を煩わせたな。ありがとう。
Jinshi is everything Maomao isn't. Rich, handsome, and so polished he probably sparkles in the sun. But here's the twist. He's not a snob. Instead, he's curious, kind, and humble enough to admit when he doesn't know something. That's rare for someone who could probably have servants to think for him. And he respects Maomao's intelligence and even seems to enjoy watching her solve mysteries like she's the star of his favorite show. Together, Maomao and Jinshi are an odd but perfectly dynamic pair. She's the scrappy genius, and he's the supportive rich guy who cheers her on. Their dynamic is equal parts hilarious and heartwarming. Watching them interact is like watching a comedy where the jokes are clever.
対価ってなんだ？
ええ、一夜の夢に喜んでおりました。
一夜。
こちらとしても頑張った甲斐がありました。
But the heart of the story always shines through. You just can't get enough of them. And one of the coolest things about the Apothecary Diaries is how smart it makes you feel. This is not a show that grabs you by the shoulders and yells the answers in your face like a teacher who's had enough. Instead, it's like a treasure map with secret clues scattered all throughout, just waiting for you to figure out what is going on. You don't even realize you're solving mysteries until suddenly you feel like Sherlock Holmes.
どれだけうまいんだ。
これ毒です。
With snacks. Take Jinshi here, for example. On the surface, he's just a very fancy man with a face so pretty it could launch 1,000 fan sites. But if you pay attention, there's something a little odd about him. Maomao, being the observant genius she is, starts to notice things. His behavior is all over the place, and sometimes he's immature. Sometimes he's too calm. And sometimes you're just sitting there wondering if he's actually an alien prince pretending to be human. At first, these quirks seem harmless, like noticing a cat always sitting in the same weird spot. Then the story hits you with the realization. Those quirks actually mean something. And suddenly you're sitting up straighter, proud of yourself for picking up on the tiny details. The way characters talk to each other also feels like a secret code. Maomao speaks very politely to everyone around her. She's trying to blend in, to be as invisible as possible. Like a ninja who also does house chores, and on the other hand, Jinshi is way more relaxed. When he talks to Maomao, he talks in a more relaxed and casual manner. For a high-ranking royal guy, this is a huge deal. It's like a CEO showing up to work in flip-flops and asking everyone to call him Bob. It says a lot about just how much he values Maomao, even if he's not shouting it from the rooftops. What makes it fun is that you don't need to be fluent in Japanese to catch these dynamics. The way they talk, the way they move, the way they react to each other gives you all the clues you need. It's subtle, but powerful, like a wink that lets you in on a secret. The best part is how the story rewards you for paying attention. If you happen to remember that one tiny, seemingly random detail, you'll feel like the smartest person in the room when they come back later. And the hints are placed so carefully. It's like a perfectly baked cake with hidden sprinkles inside. And Maomao might notice something about Jinshi early on, like how he behaves in an odd situation.
では最後の1枚も脱いでください。あ、
お前ら一体何をやっている？
ごきげんよう、ジンシ様。
You might think it's just flavor text, but no, it's the sprinkles. Later, when the story pulls it all together, you feel like you've cracked the code. Watching the Apothecary Diaries is like hanging out with a friend who knows you're smart and doesn't insult you. It challenges you, surprises you even, and may even keep you entertained, and all while making you feel good about yourself for being able to keep up. And honestly, that's just the best kind of storytelling. The Apothecary Diaries is much more than just an anime. It's an adventure for your brain and for your heart. While the characters and story do most of the heavy lifting, the animation takes the entire experience and sprinkles it with glitter and magic. It's the kind of visual feast that makes you lean closer to the screen just to soak in the details, and then realize your popcorn is gone because you forgot to eat it. First, let's talk about the colors. This show doesn't shy away from bright, bold, in-your-face shades that make each scene look like a vibrant painting. Every corner of the screen feels alive, like the animators themselves got a little too excited with the color palette and said, let's use all of it. And honestly, they nailed it. Even the shadows look dramatic and just as important in any of the darker scenes. The animation isn't just about looking pretty either. It knows how to play with the moods. One moment the scene feels heavy and tense and you're holding your breath because everything is just so serious. Then, boom! The show flips the mood like a pancake and suddenly the characters are tiny, chibi versions of themselves. Their heads big and exaggerated, faces deliver jokes like visual slapstick. It's like the show pats you on the back and says, hey, relax, we're just having fun. This balance of drama and humor keeps you hooked because you never know what to expect next. Now we have to talk about the dance scene. Oh, the dance scene. Picture this. Maomao, who usually looks like she spends more time sniffing weird herbs than picking out outfits, suddenly transforms. She steps into this jaw-droppingly gorgeous dress, and the animation pulls out all the stops. The fabric flows like it has its own personality, shimmering and swaying with every move she makes. It's the kind of dress that makes everyone in the room and the audience go, wow. Is she always this stunning? Even the light seems to fall in love with her, casting a soft glow around her like she's the moon in the midnight sky. But the real magic of the scene isn't just the visuals, it's how the animation tells a story. Maomao isn't just dancing, she's showing us who she really is. It's a mix of grace, confidence, and a sprinkle of, bet you didn't think I could pull this off now. The animation captures every detail, from the twirl of her skirt to the sparkle in her eyes. It's like the animators were saying, look at her shine. Look here. You've been rooting for her all this time, and now she's owning the moment. In an age where anime often tries to look hyper-realistic, where every hair strand has its own backstory, the Apothecary Diaries chooses a different path. Its style is playful and a little whimsical, like a storybook that came to life. It's not trying to replicate reality, it's trying to create something better, something magical. It's a world where anything feels possible, even the adorable chibi meltdowns. But it's not just the animation that makes this show work, it's how everything fits together like a perfect puzzle. Maomao is the kind of character you can't help but love. She's relatable because she's not perfect, she's awkward, stubborn, and a little too curious for her own good. But she's also incredibly kind and brave, which makes her someone you want to root for. Watching her solve mysteries and outsmart everyone around her feels like cheering on a friend who's finally getting the recognition they deserve. And then there's Jinshi. He's the charming, mysterious guy who's just the right amount of extra. He respects Maomao's intelligence, which is refreshing because, well, let's be honest, not every story gives the smart girl her due. Together, they have a dynamic that's both funny and heartfelt. Their interactions feel natural, like two puzzle pieces that just click. The story respects its audience too. It doesn't hold your hand or spell everything out for you. Instead, it leaves little clues, trusting you to pick up on them. This makes you feel clever, like you're part of the mystery-solving team. And the callbacks to earlier events are like tiny rewards for paying attention. And then there's the humor. This show knows how to make you laugh without trying too hard, and the characters' reactions are priceless, whether it's Maomao's deadpan expressions or Jinshi's over-the-top antics. Even in serious moments, there's a lightness that keeps the story from feeling too heavy, and it's the kind of humor that sneaks up on you, making you chuckle when you least expect it. In my opinion, The Apothecary Diaries is more than just a series, it's an experience. It takes you on a journey filled with laughter, surprises, and breathtaking visuals. The animation ties everything together, creating a world that feels both fantastical and real. It's like a roller coaster ride where every twist and turn leaves you wanting more. This show understands what makes a story great. It gives you characters you care about, a plot that challenges you, and visuals that leave you in awe. It's not just entertainment, it's a reminder of why we love stories in the first place. So it doesn't matter if you're watching for the mysteries, the humor, or the stunning animation. The Apothecary Diaries delivers something unforgettable. But don't just take my word for it. Go see it for yourself. If you made it this far into the video, I want to thank you. This show has wonderful elements to it, and I especially had a wonderful time writing about it and just talking about it. And I hope you guys felt the same way that I do. If not, I'd like to hear your opinions in the comments down below. And also, if you like this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button and press on that bell icon and set us all to be notified about all our latest new videos. And as for now, I'll catch you later. See you in the next one.